Well guys, I recently got a game off of my backlog, and that is Yakuza 0. I really like this game, and I really want to play more of the Yakuza games because of it. I literally bought Kiwami when I was halfway done through 0, and I cannot wait to hear Majima scream, Kiryu-chan! If you're not familiar with the series, you basically play as this guy named Kiryu Kazama, who's in the Japanese mafia group called the Yakuza. I've only played 0 so far, and I don't know that much about the series, except you don't mess with Kiryu, and it is super fun to swing around a bike. Also, one thing I love about this series is it is both super goofy, but also super serious at the same time. I know that sounds weird, but I think that Sega perfectly blends those goofy and serious moments together. For instance, after Kiryu is being targeted by the Yakuza, he runs into Awano, who is a lieutenant in the Dojima family, and Awano literally shot the woman he was dancing with after Kiryu rejected his offer of joining him. Then he said he had 100 men outside waiting to shoot Kiryu if he leaves the building, but Kiryu doesn't want to join him and decides he'd rather get shot, and then proceeds to go outside and finds out it was a bluff. While Awano is back inside saying, "Threats don't work on a goddamn idiot." I really like that moment. And you get side stories that can be super weird. Like Kiryu helps a dominatrix learn how to do her job better, Majima almost hooks up with a woman after messaging in the bathroom, and one where Kiryu beats up a string of people who keep stealing this one kid's video game that the kid saved up to buy. They're not all weird. One that I really like is when Majima helps this one ex-Yakuza father be with his family after he changed his face and identity so no one would go after his family. And one where Kiryu literally sends postcards to a DJ under the alias Judgment Kazi to find out what prize you get after sending 3 interesting stories and if they're read on the air. And I gotta say, he's pretty excited to see if the DJ will read a story or not, and I fucking love that. Besides that, you can race track cars, bowl, play darts, fish, and my 2 personal favorites, karaoke and dancing. Baka Mitai is my favorite to sing, and Friday Night is my favorite to dance to. There's a lot to do in this game, and it's pretty awesome. There are 2 things that I don't like about Yakuza 0, and they're not that big of a deal. My only gripes is it takes forever to save your game, and guns are so damn annoying. Other than that, this game was awesome. Also, Yakuza 0 was developed by this studio, but what's also cool is that they also helped develop F-Zero GX. So that's pretty cool. The story was pretty great too, and I really enjoyed it. And there were some sad moments too. Throughout the story, it changes between 2 characters, that being Kiryu and this other guy named Goro Majima. Majima shows up a lot in the series too, and he calls Kiryu, Kiryu-chan, a lot. This guy is pretty wacky, and I love him. Before I explain the plot, I'll get some details on their past. So Kiryu is an orphan and was in the Sunflower Orphanage that was run by the captain of the Dojima family, Shintaro Kazama. Basically, Kazama was like a father to Kiryu and his friend Nishiki, and Kiryu later wanted to be a Yakuza because of him. Then there's Majima. Majima was in the Shimano family, and one day he was ordered not to go with his oath brother to carry out an assassination. But he rebelled, and then he was tortured for a year, and he even got his eye cut out too. Since then, he was expelled from the family, but he was given to Shimano's oath brother, Sagawa. I don't know if I said that right. And has Majima work at a cabaret as the manager. And if he gives him 100 million yen, he'll get Majima back into the clan. So in Yakuza 0, Kiryu and Majima both have separate problems that they got to deal with. Also, here's a disclaimer, I am not going to spoil the whole story. I'm going to go halfway between Kiryu's and Majima's story, so I'm not going to spoil the ending. Kiryu is framed for murder after he beats someone up to collect the money that they owe at this empty lot that turns out to be a little patch of land that everyone in the mafia wants so they can start the Kamurocho Revitalization Project and reap in all the profits. But Kiryu didn't kill the guy, and he sets out and leaves the Yakuza to go prove that he's innocent. But not before beating up one of the other lieutenants named Kuze. Later, a real estate agent named Tachibana finds Kiryu and offers to help him clear his name, and find out who the owner of the empty lot is too. Then we cut to Majima as he works at the cabaret. One day, Sagawa makes Majima take an assassination job so he can come back to the clan. Majima is tasked with killing a person named Makoto Makamura, and when he finds them, he thought Makoto was this big buff chiropractor, But it turns out it's this blind woman who turns out to be Makoto, and other Yakuza members come to assassinate her as well. But Majima decides he can't kill her, and then proceeds to actually help her out, and figure out why everyone's going after her. I really like this story. It was kind of slow at first, especially for Majima, but the story's pretty solid. I'm not going to spoil the rest of the story, but I will say that Kiryu's and Majima's stories will both connect at one point. Now let's get into the combat, and I will say, I suck at it. So Kiryu and Majima have 3 stances: Brawler, Rush, and Beast. Brawler is the first stance you have, and there's not much I can say about it. Then there's the Rush stance. Basically, Kiryu will become faster and zoom around the enemies. Then there's Beast mode. Kiryu becomes slower, but he has super armor, and you can grab objects as you're punching someone. And oh boy, I see a bike over there. Then Majima also has 3 stances. Thug is kind of the same as Kiryu's Brawler, but then Majima's Slugger stance gives him a bat, and ooh, that's gotta hurt. Then Majima busts out his dance moves and becomes like Eddie Gordo from Tekken. As you attack enemies with punches and kicks, and once you get a full bar, you can then do a devastating attack on someone. It's pretty fun. You also gain a lot of money throughout the game, and you can use it to upgrade your abilities. I will say I had no idea that there were so many families in the Yakuza. I didn't even know how the structure of each family was, but I did know that their tattoos are sick. Like, damn, these are works of art. Oh yeah, the soundtrack in this game is amazing. Besides the karaoke stuff, whenever you're out there fighting in the streets, the music is pretty upbeat and can be intense, especially during boss fights. I will say, after playing this game, I highly recommend it. It is so good. And I keep hearing that Zero is the best of the Yakuza games. I am really glad I gave Yakuza 0 another chance. Like, the reason why I kind of gave up on it before was because I thought I saved my game, but it turns out I didn't, and I had to start all over. I put a couple of hours in, so I was like pretty annoyed at that. And then I tried it again, and I just did not know what to do. But third time's the charm, and I really enjoyed this game. My buddy Forms really likes this series, and I can see why now. And I will say he likes it way more than I do. And it's pretty awesome that actual Yakuza members actually played some of the games, and they really appreciated how spot on it was. Except the only thing was how Kiryu fights too much. But other than that, they really love the games. I am really excited to play more of the games now. I don't have all of them yet. I have Zero digitally, and then I have Kiwami physically. And this is the Steelbook one, and this is so cool. Like, here, let me show you the case of it. I think this one is Kiryu's tattoo, and this one is Nishiki's. And I'm like, this is awesome. And then here's the back of it too. I think I also have the 7th one, but I'm not gonna dig it out. Well, that's all I gotta say for Yakuza 0. I would love to hear you guys' opinions and thoughts on this game, and that's all I gotta say. So, hope you have a nice day, and I will see you later. Goodbye. What? I got you now, Kitty-chan.